Hey everyone, my name is Ray Pasek, and I'm a data scientist. The easiest way for me to explain what a data scientist does is with this. It's a simple six-sided die. There's nothing fancy or special about it whatsoever. Think about what happens when you get ready to roll a die like this. Well, what are the chances I'm going to roll exactly a 6? It's 1 out of 6. What are the chances I'm going to roll an even number? 3 out of 6. What are the chances I'm going to roll a 7? 0 out of 6. Well, what am I doing there? Well, I'm using math to predict what may happen next. As it turns out, you can use that same concept for almost anything if you have the data and the mathematical skills to do it. So you can ask yourself, how many points will the Tennessee Titans score during their next game? How many inches of rain will fall in Memphis next March? How many eggs will a chicken lay this summer? You can use data science to make predictions for all those questions. Well, why is that valuable? It's because if you know what may happen next, it can tell you what you should be doing right now. If you predicted the Tennessee Titans were going to score a lot of points in their next game, you want to be sure to listen to that game because it's going to be really exciting. If you knew there was going to be a lot of rain in Memphis in March, you'd be sure to pack an umbrella if you're going on vacation there then. If you knew this chicken was going to lay a lot of eggs, you'd be able to prepare to make a lot of breakfast for you and your family, right? So it allows you to prepare for the future and really make sure what happens is what you want to happen. As a data scientist, I've made these same kind of questions and try to answer these questions in a lot of different industries. I used to work in healthcare, and in healthcare, I helped try and predict people who were likely to get sick. And the reason we would do that is because if you knew someone was likely to get sick, you can help take action to prevent it from happening. You can make sure that person was going to see a doctor or they were getting the medicine they need so they would never get sick in the first place. So we're using math, we're using data science to make predictions of what may happen. And that can be very, very valuable. More recently, I'm actually working at a technology company. So we're actually trying to predict what computer software customers are going to be most interested in. So you can see with these examples, the number of different fields you can work in as a data scientist are pretty much infinite. You can work in sports, you can work in medicine, you can work in finances. There's really no limitation whatsoever. Now, you do need a number of skills to be an effective data scientist. The good news is you don't have to be great at math, but you do have to understand mathematical concepts. So let me give you an example about that. You don't need to know how to calculate an average in your head, right? But you do need to know what an average is. It's that same kind of principle. Fortunately, computers are going to do a lot of the math for you, so you don't have to do a lot of that on your own. You just have to know which kind of formulas you should be using. Now that also brings me to the next part. You do need access to a computer. The good news is it doesn't have to be a super fancy computer. If you want to get started, if you want to do some simple data science, really any computer will do as long as it's working. In addition to knowing math concepts, you also need to learn a bit of computer programming. So computer programming is essentially writing in such a way that you're giving a computer instructions that it can understand and it does what you want it to do. So math and computer programming are two of the really central tenets of being a good data scientist. What's also great is that if you want to learn to become a data scientist, it's never too early and it's never too late. It's really important that you start getting comfortable with computers, though. That's really the key issue here, is knowing your way around a computer. Now, beyond that, if you want to start learning like today, regardless of how old you are, it's great because there's so many free resources online. There's so many books at the library for free that teach you the basics of being a data scientist. And again, this is true at almost any age. It doesn't matter how old or young you are, you can literally go on Google and say, how do I become a data scientist? And there's going to be tools available at your disposal, many of them for free, that sort of teach you what to do and really what kind of career path you should be exploring. So in closing, I really want to appreciate everyone's time. And if you want to do your first data science experiment, all you need is a single die, make a prediction, roll the die, and ask yourself, were you right or wrong? And that's going to be your first data science project, where you're using math to try and predict what may happen next and then see if it happens. All right, with that, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.